Hey guys, hope things are fine with you. It's an interesting and a challenging time of the pandemic. Yeah, so hopefully you're staying socially distant, or probably whichever part of the world you are, you already got your shots and things like that. So I just thought, I should make a video. I mean, it's been a while. I think probably 10 years back I used to do stuff on YouTube, but not anymore. The novelty just wore off. But yeah, I think a year and a half back I discovered a few things to do in the ample time that we these days get on the weekends. I mean, you don't get to do activities outside. Yeah, I mean, you're still stuck at home. Probably just go out once in a while, but that's very restrictive in that sense. And I thought I should make use of such time and kind of get back to doing something that I love. Something that I love watching and experiencing was the Japanese culture, the artistic forms and things like that. But on the weekends I had ample time, which I basically said like, hey, why can't I dabble myself into it? I mean, I just went on a DIY spree, I mean, doing it yourself and going onto auction sites and just redoing the living space that I have. I mean, this is now my working space in that sense. So you can see some Shojis out over here, you can see some Ranmas out over here, you can see some Kakejikus on the wall, and it kind of just goes with the flow, and that's the flow that I like to have. I mean, the speed, the calmness, the subtleness in terms of the overall experience that I basically get to have at my workplace. I really love it. That's what I care about. And well, buying stuff and kind of just putting it out in a particular format, that's one way of looking at things. But I think doing it yourself means like doing these things and creating these things yourself. Yeah, and I think that's where something that I really love to talk about in my regular life is about patterns. I mean, behavioral patterns, or kind of overall natural patterns, like a mathematical fractal pattern. I mean, patterns are something that I've always somehow caught my attention. I really care for that kind of stuff. And was something that was an artistic pattern that I found in the Japanese culture, which was kind of wood pieces kind of assembled in a format that they basically form patterns, and it's called as kumiko. And it can be something like this. You see this one? Yeah. It's very unique in that sense. I think it talks and teaches a lot about life. I mean, the reason why I feel so is the uniqueness of this is that all these wooden pieces are not glued, or there are no nails or hinges or anything of that sort. They are just basically cut in a particular way that they just basically fit together. I mean, they are very, very inclusive in their nature. They just depend on each other in terms of making sure that the final product is like a solid thing. You can literally use this as a coaster for your coffee cups and things like that. You can place objects on it and things like that. Yeah. Our life should be more or less like this, right? I mean, like, it should be very inclusive in that sense, and every part is important. Even one part removed from this equation and the whole symmetry is gonna be lost. To that sense, like, it cannot even stand on its own. I mean, that's the beauty that I love about this kind of a pattern. And yeah, I mean, a year back I started making these patterns, and instead of using them as just as simple coffee cup coasters and things like that, I thought I could make something better of an interior decor with these things. And how to make this, I think I've got a time-lapse video. Take a look at it. But after that, finally, what's the final stuff that you can make out of it? How can you basically make better interior decor? I think that we can take a quick look at that. But first, enjoy the time lapse. Yeah, so welcome back. So hopefully you saw how to make it in a time lapse. I mean, it's a very roughly done video in that sense, to just shows like you just fit stuff without gluing anything, making something like this, or depending on how you connect these pieces together, you could make something like this. Yeah. every pattern is unique, yeah. So I mean, look at this. Within these two itself, like they're different, right? So every pattern is unique, and every person can basically connect the pieces very differently, and you could come up with multiple patterns. Probably, I don't know, like the combinations could just be infinite, yeah. So in that sense, this is what I've done. So let's basically see like what we can do in terms of decor. Basically it means like I need to get patterns to come together, and they need to again look coherent, they need to look symmetric, they need to be a pattern of patterns, yeah. So that's what usually a mathematical fractal is. It's a pattern of patterns, and I think that's what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna take different patterns and put them together, and we'll see what's the final output. Yeah, thank you guys, thanks for watching this video, which is a real long one, sorry for that. But now I'm gonna just kind of stick these two patterns together. So if you look at this and this, like two different patterns basically connected to form a kind of a symmetric structure, if you might. And right from the top of the wall, I've started to kind of align these pieces as one framework or a mesh, if you might. So a pattern of patterns right up to the kind of floor is what I want to do. So this is still a work in progress. I've got a retro lamp which I have decorated kind of with a Kumiko pattern there too. If I just zoom out and look at it, you have the wooden artistic expressions on the left, while you have the mathematical fractal pattern on my screen television out over here. And probably I could just watch this all day long. But this is what I just wanted to quickly say, like spending some time creatively trying to think through patterns, doing some artistic expressions, and kind of that's the way I've been enjoying my work from home and my kind of weekends from home, if you might. Both are WFH. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you.